Hello and welcome to Maple Flavored Yoga. My name is Andy and this is Dr. Claw. This is the first class in a series of 7 classes that is all about the journey through the chakras. So this is the first class, so we're going to be dealing with the first chakra, the root chakra, also known as muladhara in Sanskrit. If you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you, or if you want to shoot me an email, or you can also send me a direct message on my Instagram at mapleflavoredyogi. So feel free to reach out. I love to hear from you guys. So as always, we will come into this space, just allowing ourselves to recognize whatever we're experiencing at this time. And I would also like to send gratitude to the people of South Asia who created and cultivated this beautiful yoga practice that we get to enjoy. If your eyes were closed, you can blink them open, and we're going to get right into the asana. We're going to start actually standing at the top of our mat in mountain pose. So feet hip width apart, making sure you're grounding down through all the corners of your feet. With the first chakra, we're dealing with the element of earth, so we're really trying to root down, ground down. If you're a visual person, you can visualize the color red. That's the color associated with the chakra. And just really allow your feet to feel like they're sinking into the floor, like there's roots coming out of the bottom of your feet. From here, we are going to put some more weight into our left foot and slowly step our right foot back. We're going to come into Warrior Two, so having our foot parallel to the back of the mat. Our front leg is bent. We want to make sure that our knee isn't surpassing our ankle. Arms are straight out, and we're going to gaze over our left hand. Inhale, we'll drop our right hand, lifting our left hand up to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing our left arm down to our thigh. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, back up, and we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Really feeling your feet grounding into the mat. Nice, steady foundation. Next exhale, we'll come forward and we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Inhale back up, still really powerful in our stance, feeling our feet really sturdy below us. We're going to straighten our left leg or our front leg. We're going to come into triangle pose or trikonasana, so we're going to glide forward and bring our hand either down to our shin, maybe to our ankle, or if you'd like, you can bring it to the floor if it's available to you. Right arm is reaching up nice and tall to the sky, and we're looking over our right thumb. If that's uncomfortable for your neck, you can always find another position that suits your cervical spine better. 3 breaths. From here, we will face the front of our mat, and we will step forward, bring our feet together. Inhaling up, we'll come up into a chair pose. Once again, feet are nice and sturdy, strong into the ground. Inhale to rise, hands to heart center, and then we'll come back into mountain pose, hands down along your sides. So feel the difference now between the two sides. Really allow your feet to feel heavy, really allowing them to get into the earth or into your mat. We'll put weight into our right foot, stepping our left foot back, nice and slow. Again, coming into warrior two. The other side. Take some time to make sure that you're in a good stance. We want to really focus on having that good grounding. Arms are out, they're powerful. Our big toe mounds are really grounded here. Toes are light. Inhale, left hand drops back, right arm comes up. Exhale, we'll come forward again. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, again, we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Next exhale, we'll come forward for 3. Really allowing your legs to get really pumped up here. They're really powerful. Let them be the powerful, muscular parts of our bodies that they are. We'll come back to warrior two. Straightening our front leg, we'll come into triangle pose or trikonasana on the other side, gliding forward and then coming down, taking whatever variation feels best for your body. Once again, we'll bring our hands to the front of the mat, stepping forward, bring our feet together. We're going to come back into that chair pose. Coming back up to standing, hands to heart center, and then hands down by our sides. My legs are sure feeling it after that. Feels good though. It feels good to really allow those muscles to get really juicy with all that blood. So we're going to be coming into tree pose now. You have 3 options here. You can start with your foot down by your ankle, having your toes still touching. You can bring your foot to the meaty portion of your calf, or you can bring it up to the inner thigh. So whichever pose you choose, it doesn't really matter because the effect is still the same. So choose whichever one suits you best. And we'll start with our hands at heart center. Nice tall spines growing out of the top of our heads and into the ground, really rooting into the ground. All puns intended. I love me a good pun. Find stillness and strength in this pose. If you feel comfortable, you can bring your hands up, growing to the sky, nice and long. 3 breaths here. Let go of this pose. Slowly bring your foot back to the ground, hands to heart center. And feel the difference between your two legs. Rooting into the right foot now, really making sure that we're using that big toe mound to anchor us into this pose. And once again, take whichever variation of this pose feels best for you. Hands at heart center to begin with. If you fall over, it's not a big deal. It's not that you're doing it wrong. Just try again. Nice and tall, strong trees. Hands come up if you wish. Growing nice and tall. As much as you grow tall, make sure you're still rooting into the ground. So you have the two forces. One's going into the ground, one's growing nice and tall. 3 breaths. Once again, bring your hands to heart center, releasing that left leg, bringing it back to the mat. From our hips, you're going to hinge forward, coming into a forward fold, letting your neck go. So on an inhale, we're going to bend our legs. Exhale, we're going to push into the ground, straightening our legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, pushing into the ground and straightening our legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Really push that energy deep into the ground. Inhale, bend. Last one, straighten. Our next inhale, we'll roll all the way up, back to standing. We're going to bring our hands, our feet, the other ones. We're going to bring our feet well, a little bit wider than our hips. Toes are kind of pointing a little bit out on like a 45-degree sort of. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center, growing up the top of our head, keeping our chest nice and lifted. We're going to come into Malasana or garland pose or squat pose. There's lots of different names for this one. So keeping our chest lifted, bending from the knees, we're going to come down and bringing our knees on the I'm having a backwards day. Bring our arms on the inside of our knees. Still, we're really activated here. We don't want to just be slumped in. Our glutes are firing, our thighs are firing, our chest is lifted, our spine is long. Again, there's a lot of energy in our legs here. This is a really great pose for you to become aware of where the first chakra is located. It's located at the base of our spine. So allow the gravity to kind of take the base of your spine here to really activate that chakra. We'll bring our hands behind us and slowly come down onto our bottoms. And we'll slide back a little bit. And we'll bring our hands to the backs of our thighs. We're going to roll down nice and slowly onto our backs. Always controlled. We're going to keep our right knee into our chest. We're going to bring our left leg down. And we're going to just pull our right knee into our chest like a nice cozy hug. If this feels not good, you can always grab the back of your thigh. And just make sure when you're grabbing your leg, you're not grabbing your knee. You never want to be pulling on the joints. And when you're giving yourself a hug, like, don't clench your leg. Sometimes I do that. I don't really, I'm like, I'm so relaxed, but I'm completely not. I'm really tense. So it's like your long lost leg friend that you haven't hugged in like a year or something, and you miss them, so you want to give them a good squish, but just not too much. Our left leg is still really active here. Again, this is another pose where you can really tune into the sensation and the spaciousness of where your first chakra is located in your body. So we'll release our right leg, bring our left leg in, and do the same thing on that side. Nice, loving squish. Nothing too intense. Our neck is still long here. Our shoulders are relaxed. Right leg is still activated. And notice your muladhara chakra section, where it's located. How does that feel? Does it feel open and spacious and relaxed, or does it feel really tight or uncomfortable? This chakra is our fight or flight response. It is, if you're always feeling unsafe or always feeling really like anxious and nervous, it could be because the chakra is out of balance. But if you're feeling safe and content and standing in your own, that usually means that it's usually pretty balanced. So now we're going to bring both knees in, give them a nice big hug. Give it a wiggle if that feels good. I'm a fan of the wiggles. So anytime you gotta give yourself a wiggle or a squiggle, like, go for it. Get it all out, love it all up, it's good stuff. We'll bring both feet to the floor. We're gonna come into a bridge pose. But unlike often when we're doing bridge pose in other practices, we're focusing on the heart opening. In this pose, we're intending that our feet are so strong, we're rooting so far into the ground that our pelvis lifts up, or it grows up from those deep roots that we've created with our feet. So you want to bring your feet hip width apart, kind of close enough that you can tickle your heels with your fingers. Really take a moment to establish those roots with your feet. And then start to fire your legs. Really, really strong. Your shoulders are also grounded a lot here, and your arms will be eventually as well. So really start pushing your feet, your shoulders, your arms, so much that your hips just float off the floor. While we're pushing down, we're also squeezing everything in. Everything is midline here, so our knees should be splaying out. And if it's available to you, you can bring your arms underneath your body, and they can push down into the ground too. So you can just feel this bridge that we've created has a really, really strong foundation. 3 breaths here. Bring your arms out to the side, slowly bringing your body down vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling your thighs that are still really firing. And then let that relax. If you've got some saturation in your legs, you can do some knee circles, kind of just move that prana around, that energy that we've found, we've rooted up, we've brought up with our roots from the ground. I'll do that one more time. If you felt like your legs were really splaying to the side, you can take a yoga block or a book or something like that and put it between your thighs, just as a reminder to keep that squeezing motion with your thighs. Okay, so start to grow those roots into the ground. Start firing into your legs, Your neck is still nice and long here. It shouldn't feel scrunched or anything like that. You're pushing so far, so hard into the ground that your hips just effortlessly float off the ground, right? Yes. Yes. All right, squeeze midline. Have that bridge, have that really nice strong root. 3 breaths here. Bring your hands out to the side and slowly, even slower than last time, maybe go like a half a vertebrae at a time, because why not? You can do that. We're doing yoga. Slowly, slower than you want to. Come down and just there. That. I'm feeling a lot of explosions in my legs right now, so I'm gonna move those around. Those little explosions of prana and energy and all that good stuff that we're cooking up right now. So from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. Now that we've opened everything up, we've got to kind of smooth it out. Grab the back of our thighs, we're going to roll up right onto our sit bones. And we'll slide our bodacious bottoms back a little bit. We're going to come into a one-legged forward fold. So we're going to bring our right foot to the floor. And so with that, we're going to have to kind of turn our torso a little bit to come over the front of our left leg. Again, as with any folds or anything like that, it doesn't matter how far or how deep you come into the pose, that's not the purpose. No matter how far you're coming down, you're getting all the benefits of it. So don't worry about touching your toes or anything like that. So we're going to ground down through our sit bones, nice and weighty. Same with our foot. Our right foot is still really strong. Toes are pointed to the ceiling. Left leg is really activated even though it's still on the ground. Arms are going to grow up. Exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips coming forward. And again, it doesn't matter where you come down with this. Our right knee, we want to make sure it's not flopping out to the side. We want it to still be active, kind of hugging into our shoulder or whatever part of your body. We want it, again, everything's still coming midline. Again, this is another pose that allows you to really take an observation of what's happening in the space of the lower part of your spine, the base of your spine, where your root chakra is located. 3 big breaths here. Inhale, we're reaching up. Hands down, switching legs. Left leg comes in. Again, establish your connection with your sit bones and the floor. Left foot is really active into the floor as well. Piggies to the sky. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. We're trying to have our chest coming to our toes and our sternum coming over. So there's going to be a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a twist, I would just say I don't know what I would say. Just a little squiggle. It's the only word I can think of right now for it. 3 breaths. Inhale, grow tall with your fingertips. Hands down. And again, we're going to come back onto our backs. Grabbing your thighs, roll back. Keeping our knees bent, we're going to drop our knees to the left. Bring your hands out. You can have your arms straight or in a cactus. And you can look the opposite way of your knees if that feels okay for your neck. Inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. Allowing gravity to take your knees here. Inhale back to center. We're going to come into corpse pose or Shavasana. So get cozy. If you want to throw a blanket on, some socks or sweater, and just drop in. Release any control of the breath that you had through your practice. Just allow your body to process all that good stuff that we've just created. So from here, we will begin to introduce some movement back into our bodies. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a great big stretch. When you're ready, you can roll to one side. Take a moment here. We'll make our way back to seated. You can keep your eyes closed or have a soft gaze. And just notice how you're feeling in this moment. Bring our hands to heart center and bow our heads. No matter where you go in this life, I want you to know that you are seen, you are loved, and you are divine. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to assist in your yoga practice, and take care.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Maple Flavored Yoga.